In today's video, I'm going to be testing Amaco's Chun Plum. You can see by this jar that I have used Chun Plum before, and I've talked about it in some of my other glaze review videos. There's nothing wrong with Chun Plum. It's a lovely glaze. It just kind of turned out to be a color that I didn't really care for. So today I am going to test it on red clay and a white stoneware by itself, just to give it one more shot, because it's been a while, to see if, in fact, I actually like it after all. You never know. But the main focus of today's video is going to be combinations. So, Chun Plum, can I get that to stay? There we go. So we're going to try Chun Plum on this wonky little cloud cup. I'm not sure what happened there. Well, I know what happened. I bent it when it was not quite dry, and clay has memory, and here we are. So this is kind of a garbage cup. I'm obviously not going to sell this. So today I'm going to put Chun Plum all over the cup, inside and out, and then on, let's say, the outside, I'm going to put blue stone on top. I really like blue stone on its own, but it also does some really pretty things with other glazes a lot of the time. So we'll give that a shot. And then on the inside of this cup, I'm going to do Mayco's Celadon Bloom. I'm not actually expecting a lot from this. The Celadon color is probably just going to disappear, but it's got these little chunks in it that make kind of these white blooms. And I'm curious to see what happens when I combine that with Chun Plum. So we'll see. Then on, then on this cute little bowl, I'm going to do Chun Plum all over, inside and probably outside, because Chun Plum, if memory serves, is not much of a runner. And then, oh, no, I'm lying. I'm going to do Mulberry all over. And the reason for that is that I've got this stamp in there, which I would like to see after. I'd like to be able to see that. And the Amaco Celadons do really good things on texture. So Amaco Mulberry, which is a purple, obviously, all over. And then I'm going to do Chun Plum around the edge. And we'll see what happens there. So that'll give us Chun Plum with Mayco Celadon Bloom, Amaco Blue Stone, and Amaco Mulberry. And we'll see if I can find something that I love, or maybe we'll find something that you love. First things first, we're putting 3 coats of Chun Plum on all, 3 coats of Chun Plum on all 3 of these. I'm gonna keep this straight, I swear. Awesome thing about art is that there's something for everyone. So I want to be super, super clear that just because I don't care for Chun Plum doesn't mean it's a bad glaze, doesn't mean that other people shouldn't love it. It's just a personal preference. I find that I like purple, but I want a super purple. Say that 10 times fast. And if it's pink, I like the really vibrant pinks, like Spectrum Sangria. So that's just what I prefer. It doesn't mean that those colors are better. It doesn't mean that Chun Plum is bad. It's just personal preference. What I do like about the Amaco glazes, well, what I like about Amaco is that they make super consistent glazes. I find that more often than not, the results are consistent and repeatable. Some of the other glazes tend to, or other manufacturers tend to, in my experience, have more variation, where it might turn out well once, but then the next time it doesn't. or they're super sensitive to temperature variations, which typically the Amaco glazes that I've used anyway are pretty forgiving. The Celadons would be kind of an exception to that rule, only because they're Celadons and they will show brush marks very easily. That is not an Amaco thing. That is all transparent glazes, really. So you just need to be a little bit more careful applying them. The other thing I love about Amaco is that they have a Facebook group, and there's a whole bunch of fake copies of the Facebook group, so you kind of have to be careful which one you join. But the official Amaco group has one of their staff as a member, and so they are super responsive if you have questions or problems, or like even I posted once because I've got the dipping versions of the snow and wasabi Celadon glazes, and I wasn't sure if I could mix them. I know that the ones that come in the jars you could mix, so I posted it to that forum and I got a really quick answer, and I really appreciate that level of customer service. And if you're wondering, yes, you can actually mix the Celadons that come in a jar with the dipping glazes. Haven't tried it yet. Maybe that's another video coming up, but I have been told officially that yes, you can do that. Outside of these bowls is always, it's difficult to decide what to do with them because there's no real bottom on them, so you kind of have to come up with an arbitrary line, and I'm never quite happy with how it looks, so I think I'll just leave it bare. Putting Mulberry on this cup, and I really hope that it looks different than Chun Plum so I can keep it straight. Well, let's see. Well, it's a little lighter. It's a Mayco fan brush. I have not tried Amaco fan brushes, so I cannot speak to how awesome they are or are not. This Mulberry Celadon is watered down a little bit because I had been using it to dip mugs into. I do a mug where the bottom is Mulberry Celadon and the top is amethyst. So I might actually do 4 coats, we'll see. Would it be better to use a banding wheel for this? Yeah, probably. But my banding wheel has another mug on it that I am currently glazing with Mayco green tea. So we shall make do. It looks exactly the same. Okay, we're gonna remember that this is Mulberry Celadon, right? Right. This is where video evidence comes in handy. All right, coat 2. be alternating the direction of my brush strokes, but I don't remember what direction I did them in last time, so I'll hope for the best. Two coats. And we're gonna let those all dry for a bit, and we will come back. Coat 3. So we have 3 coats of mulberry on this, but like I say, it is a little watered down, so I think I'm going to do a 4th coat. We have 3 coats of Chun Plum inside and out on this cup, and these 2 are done. They both have 3 coats of Chun Plum on them. So I'm going to set these ones aside, and we'll carry on with these guys. So what did I say? Bluestone on the outside of the cup and Celadon bloom on the inside? Sounds plausible. Wait for it to dry just a little bit more. Mulberry, right? Yeah. They look really, really similar. Look at these. Wow. Okay. One last coat of mulberry, just to make sure. Okay, and that is it for the mulberry glaze. Lost my other camera, so hopefully the angles are okay. Did 1 coat of bluestone, so let's do the 2nd coat of bluestone. I've been learning a lot about the YouTube algorithms over the last little while, and it really does help when you like, when you subscribe, and when you watch to the end of videos. So if you have a YouTuber, hopefully like me, that you enjoy their work, those are the ways that you can help them out. 1, 2, yeah, I think we have 1 more coat of Chun Plum to do on this. And then we're going to do 3 coats of Celadon bloom on this cup. And these glazes with the crystals in them, the best way to use them is by putting them like on a little plate so that you can make sure you're getting the crystals. I have lost track of the plate that I used to do that, so I'm going to put some into this little lid top, which should do the same thing. Also with these, I like to use something to stir it, because sometimes the crystals just kind of chunk up on the bottom. We will do 3 coats of the Celadon bloom on the inside. See what happens. again, I'm just going to do it on the top just in case it gets super runny. Although, I mean, this is a wonky cup. It's destined to hold toothbrushes or something. Okay, we need one more coat of Chun Plum on this. Is, but we're not going to leave that. Oops. So you can see that I didn't get enough water off this brush. To review, we have Chun Plum 3 times on white clay. This is just some soluble salts coming out of the clay. It'll burn off. 3 times on red clay. Mulberry Celadon by Amaco with 3 times Chun Plum on top. And 3 times Chun Plum outside and inside with 3 times bluestone outside and 3 times Celadon bloom inside. So we're going to pop all of these into the kiln, fire them to a cone 6 with a slow cool, just because that happens to be what I'm doing for the next kiln load. And we will come back and check out our results and see if I can find a way to love Chun Plum. Okay, we have the results of the Chun Plum experiments out of the kiln. I'm not in love, but there are some interesting results. So first of all, I was trying a new firing schedule. It's a firing schedule from digitalfire.com, which, if memory serves, is affiliated with Plainsman Glaze out in Alberta. This is a new kiln, so I'm still trying to dial in the firing temperatures, and I'm not quite there. This is, I would go with a 6.5. I did have some cones, 7 cones in there, but I didn't bring them in with me. So hot cone 6. These were the 2 Chun Plum on their own. So on the white clay, my challenge with Chun Plum is that it gets this kind of orangey color to it, which again is not bad. It's just, I just don't love it. But I will say that it does do really nicely on texture. It really shows the stamps on this bowl. So that's definitely a plus in its favor. And you can see in where it's deeper that it gets more of that kind of plummy color to it. And on the red clay, it's a different color, which is not unusual because typically red clays have a lot of iron in them. That's why they're red, is my understanding of the situation. I am not an expert though. So what we see mostly on here is that plum color. Don't judge it too harshly on the texture because the texture was not deep in this part of this particular dish. So you can see over here where the texture is a little deeper that you do get that nice breaking on the texture. So that is 3 coats of Chun Plum, hot cone 6, just on its own. And then we have our 2 experiments. So this was Amaco's Mulberry, which is a beautiful, very consistent purple Celadon color. See, they're the same on both of these. And I put 3 coats of Chun Plum on top of it. It's a little trippy, actually. I don't hate this. I'm not sure that it would kind of fit into the color scheme that I usually do, but I could see applications for this. Again, I don't love it, but it's interesting. There's a lot of color variation, and yeah, it kind of did some interesting stuff here. So if this is something that you're looking for, this kind of reddish purple color scheme, then Chun Plum and Mulberry might be the ticket. And of course, the Mulberry Celadon does a beautiful job on texture, as always. And last but not least, our wonky cup. Bless it. I don't know. This is going to hold paintbrushes or something. We'll see. I'll use it for something. So this is 3 coats of Chun Plum. Again, very orangey there, which not really my thing, with blue stone on top. And it's not really super exciting, I gotta say. There's some areas here where there's kind of some interesting stuff going on. But then when you kind of go back and look at it as a whole, I don't know, it's just kind of dark. On the inside, we put Mayco's Celadon Bloom on top. And now that did some interesting stuff as well. So those white crystals really did give that kind of white floating effect. The Celadon color really disappeared, which, you know, I knew it was going to because it's quite a light transparent color. This is what it looks like on its own, that glaze. So you can kind of see how we got the variegated white from these little crystals, which ran quite a bit. So again, if that is effect that you're after, it's kind of neat. Certainly did some interesting variation there, some visual texture, I would call it, to the glaze, but again, not something that I'm likely to use for my particular lineup. Thing about Chun Plum, and fairly unusual for Amaco, is that the information that they show in the test tile on the cover, or on the label, sorry, really doesn't match what I'm seeing out of the kiln. So the closest would be the result on dark clay, but when I look at it on white clay, which is what this test tile is on, I see all of this orange, and there's no orange on the test tile at all. Whether that's because it fired a little hot, maybe, but it's not the first time that I've seen that kind of orangey color from Chun Plum. It's one of the reasons I've struggled with it. Yeah, so this one, still not my favorite. If you have combinations that you've done with Chun Plum that you absolutely love, if you've got something that makes it shine, or a combination that just kind of creates something totally new and exciting, let me know down in the comments. Again, this is all subjective, guys. I mean, look, the texture on these is perfect. There's no orange peel. that I can see. I'm not seeing any pinholes on any of these test tiles. There's a little bump there, but that was my pot, not the glaze. Same with this one. Like it's a beautiful, smooth texture. So it's a quality glaze. It's just a color that, I don't know, it just isn't working for me. Although this one might have some potential. I could see using this one, maybe. So if you've got a combo that you love, or if you have the secret to getting Chun Plum to turn out exactly like the test tile, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about it. And I would also love to hear about what other glazes you would like to see tested, or glaze combinations. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to help grow the channel. Thanks for watching.